Hey, welcome to another Wix Fundamentals for the Wix user. For the second installment of our presentation on how to hire a web designer. Tonight we're going to go over actually how to pick your web designer, what to look for, certain questions to ask. So here we go. Here's a presentation. So again, this is the second installment on how to hire a website designer, step-by-step instructions for hiring your website designer. So choosing your designer. It'd be nice if it'd be easy just to choose a designer like it is to choose an apple or a cake. I would absolutely choose a cake. It's not good, but I would choose it. Research designers. So first thing to do is to look at different designers for the platform that you're looking to use. So you should have an idea of what platform you want to use, whether you're using Wix, if you're using Squarespace, if you're using WordPress. Know what platform you want your site designed on, and then research for designers that are on that platform. I touched on this on the first installment a little bit, but the designer that you choose should know your language. So if you are an English-speaking business, the person that you choose should be able to design your site in that language. Again, this goes back to writing your own content. If you write your own content, this is not that big of a deal because you have written the content for your designer. But if you're looking for your designer to write content as well, just make sure that the designer speaks your language and speaks to the same dialect of your language. Someone that is a native speaker of your language will speak differently than someone that has learned your language. So just keep that in mind when you're designing. Use a service to hire. Me being on the Wix end of things, I would recommend the Wix Marketplace. The Wix Marketplace is a great tool to look at different Wix designers, check out the reviews, check out some of their work, which that'll be down another slide. But there's a ton of other ones out there. Upwork is one that I have used previously for other things, not for web design. I'm actually also on Upwork for web design, but Upwork is another good platform to use to research different designers. You can research by platform, I believe, on Upwork as well. So it does help narrow down your designers. Read reviews. So this kind of follows the same research pattern. Wix Marketplace has some great has a great layout for reading reviews. So anytime I create a website on the marketplace, I can reach out to my client and ask them to write a review. By doing that, I always tell them that it goes on my profile. That way, prospective clients can read those reviews and get an idea of what it's like to work with me as a designer. Be careful reading reviews off of a website that someone has designed. So if it's a designer's website and they just type out reviews, just take that with a grain of salt. Check out Google. If they have a Google My Business page, if they have a page from a review website, those have a little bit more clout than just a typed up review. Anybody can write a review for themselves. It means a lot more if it's written for them. So just keep that in mind when you're checking for reviews. look at other sites. So again, I'm going to go back to the Wix Marketplace. The Wix Marketplace has a great layout, so you can check out the designer's other websites. This gives you an idea of the designer's language. Everybody designs a little bit differently. Some designers, their sites look very similar, kind of more of a cookie cutter look for their sites. I can tell you from my perspective, I design to my client. So I've designed a site that the client gave me how they wanted to look in actually a Word document, all the way up to having a graphic designer design the layout, and then I basically built the site off of that layout. So there's a wide variety of how different designers design sites. If they design off of the same kind of cookie cutter layout, just keep that in mind. Your site may look like another site, especially if it's in the same realm, same business topic as your site. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it may not kind of pop your site out to your visitors as much as a unique site designed by someone that's designing a site to your liking. Does the designer require a contract? This is a big one. You want your designer to require a contract of some sort. All my clients acknowledge a contract. The contract is written for that client. It lays out what I expect from them and what they can expect from me. I send that contract out to the client, and I have them review that before they sign it. And if they have questions, I'm very open to answering why I have certain things on a contract. Every designer has a different contract, and I know from my experience, I've changed my contract multiple times just from experience. So if something pops up that I realize I should have added that to a contract, it gets put into the next contract, and so on and so forth. So if you're wondering why a designer has something kind of odd in their contract, more than likely it came up previously and they're covering themselves. So that contract, like I say, it should not only have what your client or what your designer expects from you, but it also has to have what you can expect from the designer. So when it comes to designing a website, communication is key, and that contract should lay out, in a sense, what to expect from your designer. It also will lay out fees. So if your designer quotes you a specific amount, and then that contract adds stuff to it, just keep that in mind. Sometimes that can be a little bit of a red flag that they're trying to, bump up the price. I know for me, I have flat fees on my contract. The contract allows the client to upgrade to a maintenance contract. The maintenance contract for me includes a monthly charge that then allows them to have an X number of hours of work under that one charge. Other designers require a maintenance contract. They may call it something different. I don't. I just don't like to hold people to something, and that's just me. But some designers do. So some designers require you to sign up for a maintenance contract. They may call it a retention contract. So just keep that in mind as well. Is your designer certified in the platform? This is another big one. The Wix Marketplace, to be in the Wix Marketplace, you have to have a certain number of sites designed on the platform and basically be allowed into the marketplace through Wix. That has changed throughout the years. I know for me, I am physically certified. I hold a certificate from Wix as a certified Wix webmaster. So if you get something from me, it's always going to say certified Wix webmaster, because that kind of is something that I actually educated myself on. I took classes through Wix. Currently, Wix is not offering this certification. I've heard for a few years that they were thinking about bringing it back, but I have not heard anything since. So just keep that in mind. If you use the marketplace, there is a little bit of there are rules that someone needs to do to get into it, but they may not be physically certified in anything to do it. So there are people that are certified in certain WordPress designs. I don't necessarily know what goes into that. From my understanding, there are good ones and bad ones when it comes to different certifications. Someone may be certified in something SEO related. Wix, like I say, some of us actually took a class a few years ago, became certified. Some of us are in the marketplace and don't hold that certification, so just keep that in mind. If your designer is certified in the platform, a big one for Wix is Velo. Used to be Wix Code, now it's called Velo. There is a certified. You do have to be certified in order to offer Velo services in the marketplace. So it's a different certification than what I went through. I went through more of a class. This certification is more of a proving that you can do it. So if you're looking for Velo work in the marketplace and someone responds back that is Velo specific, they've taken some class, or not necessarily taken some class, but they've basically passed a test to be able to do that. So hopefully that breaks down a little bit more into how to physically choose a designer, to research the designer, to figure out who you want to use for your designer. If you have any questions, again, do not hesitate to ask questions in the comments. Email me. If you go to wixfundamentals.com, you can message me through the site. If you have other ideas for how to choose a designer, maybe questions to ask, anything like that, comment below. Again, just like I said in the first video, I'm kind of skimming the surface, just giving you some brief ideas on how to choose a web design professional. But if you have any other ideas, something that's worked for you, don't hesitate to write it down in the comments. Again, email me if you have questions. And again, have a good night.